after Mikey Garcia suffers a stunning defeat that really, I wasn't that shocked watching it live. I was more shocked that Sandor Martin actually got the decision. I was not shocked at all that Mikey Garcia lost. Because when you have a fighter that does not respect the sport of boxing, that takes long layoffs, that wants to cash himself out in a fight he knew he had no business being in against Errol Spence. He knew that he should have stayed at lightweight. He had no interest in facing Vasyl Lomachenko, a guy that just wants to make money, leave boxing when he needs money, when he might want to buy a real estate. He gets back into boxing. And his brother too has a very annoying approach to his coaching style, where he never tells his fighters that you guys are losing a fight, you might need a knockout. He doesn't have that in his brain at all. Like, he's always telling his fighter, good job, you won that round. And he had the audacity to say after the fight, I thought I won the fight. I was pushing the fight the whole time. And Sandor Martin was running. And any of you guys that watched the fight know that's not true. You guys all know Sandor Martin was attacking on the front foot at times and boxing on the back foot at times. Mikey Garcia was not exclusively pushing the fight. It didn't even seem like Mikey Garcia was in shape. And I don't know why it was at a catch weight of 144. Why can't Mikey Garcia make light welterweight? And they asked him, is this because of your inactivity? He said no. Sandor Martin was the better fighter. He was the more all-rounded fighter, which is sad. A guy like Mikey Garcia, I remember 2014. It's one of those guys you'd be like, oh, you wouldn't want to be in a ring with back in 2014-15. That's how he was viewed. Kind of like how we view Navarrete right now. Kind of like how we view Miguel Barshal before he lost to Oscar Valdez. But in a more technical way, because he was technical and he could box. He was a very, very good fighter. But then he didn't care about boxing. He went and lost it for 2-3 years with Top Rank. Didn't fight. Then lots of inactivity. Lots of jumping up and down in weight. And he just never really respected the sport of boxing. So when you don't respect the sport of boxing, this is what happens to you. No fighter is above boxing. No, boxing would not die without any fighter. A lot of people kept on saying that boxing will cease to exist without Floyd Mayweather Jr. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. had his last scheduled fight when he announced it was going to be his last fight. It's going to be a retirement after that. Was in September 12 of 2015 against Andre Berto. A lot of fans were making assumptions that boxing would have no star to carry the throne of boxing. But what happened immediately after that? On November 7, 2015, literally 8 weeks later, Canelo Alvarez dominates Cotto for a unanimous decision to cement his place as a pound-for-pound fighter. 3 weeks later, Tyson Fury dethrones Vladimir Klitschko in a boring fight, yeah, but in a fight that opened the heavyweight division. He gets stripped of his IBF title 5 days later. So already have a vacant title. 9 days after that, Dillian White and Anthony Joshua go into war, which was without a doubt fight of the year in 2015. They were both hurt early, and Anthony Joshua clipped Dillian White, making two international superstars in Anthony Joshua and Dillian White. 5 weeks later, Charles Martin and Glasgow fight for the IBF vacant title. Charles Martin wins via third round TKO, where Glasgow suffered a knee injury. 12 weeks later, Charles Martin gets dethroned from the IBF title, and Anthony Joshua becomes the new IBF heavyweight champion of the world. And you see boxing, there's no one above boxing. No one in the sport of boxing is above boxing. Boxing is number one. You got to respect the sport. If you respect the sport, if you're always with the sport, if you give the sport your all, if you respect it, it will give you everything. But when Mikey Garcia expects to just on and off, and he considers himself some big shit after he beat Jesse Vargas, it's not going to happen. And even the Jesse Vargas fight was a very tight fight. You should not be going life and death if you're a pound-for-pound fighter with Jesse Vargas. All due respect to Jesse Vargas, a lot of people thought Jesse Vargas' height and reach would trouble Manny Pacquiao when they fought. Manny Pacquiao made it very early that he showed that Jesse Vargas is nothing to him. With all due respect to Jesse Vargas, he's a nice guy. I like his commentating. He's a good dude. I was cheering for him when he fought Saddam Ali, and I was very happy for him when he picked up that WBO title. But Manny Pacquiao, very early in the fight, dropped to Jesse Vargas. It was either round 1 or round 2. And I know Jesse Vargas went down in round 5 against Mikey Garcia, but that was a close fight. It could have went either way. Now let's take a quick look at Mikey Garcia's career. Just a quick, brief look. When the first time he fought at world level. You could say the first time he fought at world level was when he fought... What's his name? Give me a second, folks. It was when he fought Orlando Salido for the WBO featherweight title. A fight where he dropped Salido 3 times, but he gets a broken nose from a headbutt and chose to quit. Chose to for the fight to go to technical decision. And I already saw a glimpse of bad stuff, especially in his next fight when he fought Juan Manuel Lopez. And I remember this clearly. He came in 2 pounds overweight and lost his titles on the scale. He beat Juan Manuel Lopez by 4th round TKO, but he lost his fight on the scale. He moved up then immediately, beat Roman Martinez, to capture the super featherweight title. He defended it once, then he wanted out of his loss of his top ranked title. So you see right now, let me just give you a brief look. His 2 notable wins so far is Juan Manuel Lopez. His 2 notable wins are Roman Martinez and Orlando Salido. Those are his 2 notable wins right now. Now we're approaching 2014, and he wants a lawsuit to get out of his top-ranked contract. He's out of boxing for 30 months. He comes back, gets a TKO victory over Elio Rojas. Then beats, I believe, a Spanish or a Portuguese fighter, name of Dijon Zalatacanin. I know I butchered that, but forgive me. He beat him by 3rd round knockout. That guy, I think the very next fight got stopped in the 2nd round, so it wasn't really all that. Then he beat Adrian Broner in the 12th round unanimous decision. So he picked up the WBC lightweight title with beating Dijon Vlatikin. Then he moved up after he beat Adrian Broner. When he beat Adrian Broner, he beat him in light welterweight. Then he fought Sergey Lipinets. And he dropped him around 7, beat him over 12 rounds. Then he went back down to lightweight and beat Robert Easter Jr. to unify the WBC and IBF. He dropped Easter Jr. in round 3. That was a good win. You can make an argument that that's the best win of Mikey Garcia's career. Then he chose to move up 2 weight classes to fight Errol Spence Jr., where a lot of people said that Mikey Garcia could outbox Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence only has a puncher's chance against Mikey Garcia. But Errol Spence Jr. chose for 12 rounds to never, not once, go for the knockout and beat Mikey Garcia on the back foot. He shut out Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence Jr. It was a very one-sided fight. I thought Mikey Garcia would get stopped. I was shocked in the fashion of how Errol Spence beat Mikey Garcia. He completely outboxed him. So after that, 1 year later, look, it's all layoffs. It's all layoffs with this guy. 1 year later, he fights Jesse Vargas. He gets by with a close win. Then 1 year and 8 months later, he gets beat by Sandor Martin. So as you can see, like right now, let's sum up Mikey Garcia's career. His best win is, let's just say all his notable wins: Jesse Vargas, Robert Easter Jr., Sergey Lipinets, Adrian Broner, and not the Adrian Broner that was undefeated. The Adrian Broner that's already been beat twice. Roman Martinez and Orlando Salido. So that's Mikey Garcia. Incredible career. I heard people on Twitter saying Mikey Garcia would dominate Lomachenko. I hope today you got enough proof why Mikey Garcia does not stand a chance against Lomachenko. I never did, frankly. Lomachenko would box circles around him. Lomachenko would probably stop him due to Mikey Garcia's tendency to being very gun-shy. Could Mikey Garcia beat Nakatani? I doubt it. I would pick Nakatani in that fight. They could even fight at 140. He doesn't have to go back down to 135. So Mikey Garcia's failed career. It's obviously a great career because he was a champion in multiple weight classes. Most fighters don't become champions. But it's a failed career what people thought of him back in 2014. Many people thought that he was a pound-for-pound number one contender. And now you see where his career is at. This is what happens when you don't respect the sport of boxing. Let Mikey Garcia be an example to all fighters with Hall of Fame aspirations. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sadiq Boxing out.